Hi everyone, and welcome to my first video of February. This is actually going to be the first half of the month's pickups. I'm going to start and try to do this where I do two pickup videos a month rather than just one big one at the end of the month. Just so it'll be a little bit shorter of a video for everyone and also updating or releasing videos a bit more regularly than I have been. I know some people are kind of sad or complain that I don't do that very often. It's been a kind of really busy couple of last months, but hopefully now I have a bit more time, or I'm on a more regular schedule. I'll have time to upload more regularly. So, in saying that, I hope everyone had a wonderful Valentine's Day, wonderful first half of February. I don't have too much to show off, but there are some things here, so I hope you enjoy that. Also, as a side note, just for anyone who's interested, I have just made a Twitter in relation to this YouTube channel, so I'll put the link in the description underneath if you're interested in that. I do post kind of photos of stuff that I get in the mail, as well as, retweeting industry stuff that I'm interested in. Also, you can chat with me on there if you find that easier than messaging me on YouTube. So yeah, if anyone's interested, that's there, and I check that pretty regularly. I'm not the best with social media, so please forgive me with all just my ineptitude in pretty much every way, but yeah, so Anyway, disregarding all that, like I said, there's not a huge amount here, but I think it's a pretty good spread of stuff, and I'll just start right away with figures, or figure, technically. I've only got one, and that is Kiss Shot, the 1/8 scale from Good Smile Company. She's absolutely beautiful. I really love her. She actually came out in December, I believe, but I didn't get her until obviously the beginning of this month. Just focusing on her face there. She's absolutely beautiful. It took me a little while to figure out how to get her into her base, but once I read the instructions, which I should have done first of all anyway, but was perfectly fine getting her all set up, and now she sits next to the other version of herself, the Shinobu 1/8 I have, also from Good Smile. And really, those are the only two that I think I'll be getting in that line. They're all lovely, but I just don't have that kind of room or money, really, so I'm happy that they look fantastic next to each other, and so glad to get both versions of Kiss Shot. Next is actually quite related to that, and it's the first or the only volume of Kizumonogatari Wound Tale, which has, as you can see, Kiss Shot on the front. It's the first of the Monogatari books to be licensed and released in English. I haven't read that much of it, probably 4 or 5 chapters so far, but it is fantastic. If you're a fan of the series, I definitely recommend you pick it up. I have this is actually from the second printing run of the first edition, so you can kind of tell it's really popular. It only came out again in December, I believe, but it sold out pretty much immediately. I don't think they had enough copies to cover pre-orders, so I had to wait for almost a month until they reprinted the book, and then I got my copy once that was done. Yeah, really fantastic. I think Vertical did a great translation on this, and I'm really looking forward to reading Bakemonogatari, which they just announced the license of this previous weekend. It's going to be collected in 3 volumes rather than the 2 collected volumes. That was how it was released in Japan, but yeah, we'll be starting to see those at the end of this year and early next year, and I'm really looking forward to it because I am quite a fan of the show and series overall. So yes, I'm looking forward to actually reading the source material of something that I've enjoyed for a very, very, very long time. Next is anime. I only got one thing so far, and I did mention it in my last video, but it's the second part, or season 2 of Yu Yu Hakusho, the Anime Classics Blu-ray edition version. As I mentioned in some of my previous videos, I'm upgrading to the Blu-ray. This is the final one I needed, so now I have the whole series. And now I have all of Tagashi's work that has been released so far in English. Now all I need waiting for is the Hunter x Hunter 2011 series from Viz to be released. I'm really looking forward to that. And as you should know if you've watched my videos in the past, I'm a big Tagashi fan, so I was just really glad to get this. The series looks fantastic on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to rewatch it, although I don't know when I'll have time to do that, even though I do really love the show. So next is actually a CD. It's the single to an opening of the newest season of Haikyuu, and that is Spy Air's I'm a Believer. It's quite large, like it's actually the size of like a manga volume. It's tall, but this is actually just like a little slip cover thing for it. I'm trying to slowly buy all of the singles for the openings and endings of Haikyuu. It's one of my favorite shows, sports shows especially, and I kind of tend to do that. I buy the singles and soundtracks and stuff of shows I really enjoy. I only have the ending single from this same part of the show. It's the second season's first ending single, and I have the second soundtrack from the first season. So I do have a bit of catching up to do in that regard, but really, really love the show, really love how it's developing, and can't wait to watch more. There's a new episode out. I haven't seen it yet, but it's probably one of my favorite, most anticipated shows of the season, and I just really, really love watching it. Next is manga. There's only a couple volumes here, and if you follow my Twitter, you should probably know what they are. But first of all is the first volume of a new series, which is Behind the Scenes by Bisco Hattori, who is the mangaka. She wrote and illustrated Ouran High School Host Club, and you can tell it's her style of art very much, just the way she designed her characters. But it's very interesting. It's got a kind of similar setup to Ouran in the fact that it's a club and someone being dragged into it, but it's not a reverse harem. It's not like the elite rich people of the world. It's not really a romantic comedy that Ouran was. I think it's just more of a found family-ish sort of comedy. Where Ouran was a found family comedy, it was also like a romantic comedy. It did have quite a focus on romance. I don't think Behind the Scenes will. So it is different from kind of her other work. And if you're a Hattori fan, I do recommend it. I don't necessarily know if it'll be as popular as or as long-running as Ouran High School Host Club, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun either way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more. It's got an interesting setup to it, so I hope that she can keep the kind of energy that it has at the moment. And I like to see how the characters develop, because we do have quite a large cast at the moment, and not very many chapters to introduce them so far. So I hope that, like with Ouran, we do get kind of a better feel of all the characters, and I trust that we will, because Hattori is very good at what she does, and I mean, if you're a fan of her previous works, you know that she does like focus on the characters as well as just the story, so I'm not too worried in that regard. And finally, the other two volumes are actually from the same series. It's Aya Kano's new work. or her new work in English, which is Volume 1 and 2 of Requiem of the Rose King. It's being published by Viz Media, and I absolutely love this series. Love, love, love it. It's based off of the Shakespearean plays Henry VI and Richard III, kind of regarding the War of the Roses, sort of. It's a very loose adaptation, but very, very, very good. I find it extremely compelling. It's very much a Shakespearean work in that it's a tragedy. You know it's a tragedy, and like you want to know what happens, but at the same time you don't want it to happen, if that makes sense. I'm really looking forward to reading the next volumes. The third one is already out, I just haven't gotten it yet. Oh, and I really appreciate what Kano's done with the story. It's got kind of a fantastical, fantasy setting-ish. It's not just straight up England. There is some stuff going on there with witches and demons and things. It's got a lot of gender stuff in relation to one of the main characters. It's just really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to reading more, as I mentioned just a minute ago. But I really, really recommend this, especially I think technically it's a shoujo series. It's published in a shoujo magazine, but it's not what you would really regard as shoujo. I think anyone with kind of an interest in, well, kind of an epic story of monarchy and betrayal and war and that sort of thing. If you're a fan of Shakespeare's works, especially, I think you get a good feeling of that in this series. It's not like an exact one-for-one, obviously, but it's kind of used in a very interesting way, an interesting starting point, and these covers are absolutely beautiful. I love them a lot. But yes, I'm really, really, really looking forward to the third volume whenever I get it. And yeah, the fourth volume I think is coming out in May, so a bit of a wait after that to get the next one. So, but yeah, I do really recommend it, especially if you're looking for kind of a new interesting story to get into, or you're a fan of Kano. This is fantastic, just released from her. I mean, all her stuff is great, but this is just really, really not necessarily different, but it is different from like her other stuff. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but yes, I actually really am looking forward to this one. But yeah, so that's pretty much it this month. I'll actually stack it up so you can see it's not a huge amount. But I think for the first couple weeks of the month, I'm not doing too badly. I do have definitely more anime coming this month. Two things I know for sure. I'm not sure about manga, honestly, but hopefully also figures are coming, because I'm waiting for them, but I did choose slow shipping, so I can't really complain that much. But look, it's like a tiny, tiny stack in comparison to what I normally have on these videos, which is 3 or 4 massive things. But I did expect that I wasn't going to have as much as I normally do this month, just because, you know, I'm trying to kind of focus on certain things that I want. I have some expensive figures and stuff coming up, so I can't just spend everything that I make on whatever I want. I do have other expenses and stuff in my life, but that's probably no interest to any of you. But in the next couple weeks I'll be doing a follow-up to this video. It'll be part 2. And hopefully, yeah, I'll have some interesting things to show you guys there. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all sticking around for so long. I have over 400 subscribers now, which is just huge. That's amazing to me. I really appreciate all of you guys who like my videos, who comment. It's it's wonderful. I read them all the comments, and try to reply where I can. As I said, I'll put my Twitter in the description box, I guess it's called, underneath, so you can talk to me there, or follow me, or whatever you want to do. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.